What's up, everyone? How are you doing, YouTube? How are you doing? What a week so far. And there's only a few days left, or not even a few days actually, before it's weekend. So time flies when you're having fun, right? Time flies when you're having fun. Good to have you all here. Welcome, everyone. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Gonna pop my webcam on. And we're going to keep an eye on the chart for an hour because I do have an incredibly busy agenda because of a very busy day tomorrow. We have to prepare a lot at home. So that being said, we're going to observe the price action for about an hour, see what happens. New York just opened as well. Little bit of low time frame volatility on the chart, but not too much. And I mean, yesterday was a very volatile day, so it's good to see price ranging for a bit, but we might still have some volatility before the weekend comes. That would actually be quite nice if we do get it. But good to have you all here. Welcome everyone in this live stream. As always, we're going to cover Elliott Waves. Right, we're going to cover the weekly as well because I like to say something about the weekly time frame. After that, jump to the daily, jump to the 4-hour time frame, and then we're pretty much at the 15-minute time frame as well. So we're just going to cover everything. Probably will take about 20 minutes, and then do some chatting and Q&A. Right, timestamp exactly. Mark as competition. Now Suhail is also remembering me, or remembering me. He is helping me to remember to keep an eye on the timestamp. Thanks, Hill. What's up, offline, Mark? Good to have you here. Your hoodie will be arriving today. At least that's what Postanel told me. Flotty, welcome. Rostam, good to have you here as well. Mido, Hiop, welcome, welcome. Umar, Adam, what's up, Adam? 008Z, good to have you here as well. Baptiste, hello, Kunzis. Oh boy, is that gonna be a thing now? Tim Johnston, welcome. Suhail, Particles of Time, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Hira, good to have you here once again. Second time in the live stream. Working at the shop today, so no slacking out to catch up later. Okay. Good luck with your work, Adam. Thanks for popping in and saying hi. So this looked like the 20th June channel breakout, which had a brief retest. I see. Yeah, I mean, the probabilities locally are still higher to still look for higher prices. Even if you move down to the daily naked point of control, the B pocket is higher. So, but we're going to cover it, of course, in more detail. Bayubai, welcome. Errol, Cryptoman, what's up? Stefano, Lil Ways, Folzi, Dalang, Gautam, Chopra, good to have you all here, guys. So we're going to start with the analysis, and I want to start on the weekly time frame. So actually in the morning for the update, the previous update, I was doubting, like, am I gonna put this in or not into the video? Eventually I decided not to put it in, but with regards to the weekly time frame, there's a couple of things that are good to know. Let's start with this, then we have that, and okay. So the weekly time frame at the moment has arguably most of the biggest diversity in the scenarios, but the probabilities are higher for the bullish scenarios, and that is pretty much what we're looking for, right? The probabilities are higher to continue the trend before moving maybe one day maybe below 38.5 again, because this is the low that would really start to change probabilities for the bears. Before you get there, a lot needs to happen still. So let's start with the analysis. We are at 7 minutes and almost 30 seconds. But it's futures, future trading. Yeah, futures. Yeah, I do futures. So let's start. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Weekly time frame. Now let me be short and sweet, right? Probabilities on the weekly are higher for price to continue the trend to the upside. If price moves to the upside, we have to wait and see which scenario is going to play out, because we don't yet know. All of these scenarios lead to price moving to the upside, but we don't know how impulsive it's going to be. What is the extension going to be? What are the lower time frame moves going to be? Is price coming down once more and then a move towards the upside, which is still bullish? We got to wait and see. We're going to cover that as well. Of course, we're going to jump to the lower time frames, but I'm going to show you 3 scenarios. And before you get confused about the scenarios, just know the probabilities are higher for continuation to the upside. But there's a few details that I do like to mention. So the first scenario that I want to show you is the most bearish bullish scenario. A 1, 2, 3 already finished, 4 and 5. In this scenario, preferably you move down at least once more in your wave 4. Continue the corrective structure, ending wave 4 after the 382. So what you're looking for is an impulse where we only expect one more move to the upside in a wave 5, after which we expect a bigger correction to the downside. Therefore, it's the most bearish bullish scenario because we do expect price to move up but then move down in a bigger corrective structure. Common target area for your wave 4 is the 236 to the 05, taken from the low of 2 to the high of 3, 62.2k, 49.3k, invalidation 618, 43.6k. Now, currently, this low here has been made before the 0.382 fib time. This wave 2, now we're going to talk about the rule of alternation, which is the reason time is important. This wave 2 is very shallow and very long in time, right? Which increases the probabilities for a wave 4 to be short in time and deep. Now, it's all probabilities. It doesn't mean that if wave 2 is shallow and long, wave 4 is always going to be short and deep. Wave 4 can also be long, can still be shallow. It's all probabilities though. But you at least want the wave 4 to be in a 382 relationship with wave 2. Right? That is like the minimum almost. So the 0.382 is preferred, ending this wave 4 after the 382. But currently the low here is made before the 382. So in other words, preferably you're going to move towards the downside one more time, making a low after the 382, and then we'll take it from there. Now, a more local scenario that can lead to exactly this is the diagonal into a zigzag. This scenario will do exactly that. 5-wave diagonal in A, 3-wave zigzag in a B, and a 5-wave C to the downside, creating another low after the 0.382. By the way, the 0.382 is, let's say, the 9th of May. So, of course, we already passed it. So, in this scenario, we're looking for wave B, preferably a zigzag, which is most common. 5, 3, 5-wave structure. Right? Common target area for your wave B is the golden pocket to the 886 from the high to the low of A. 67.2, 71.9k. However, also with this wave B, preferably it ends after the 0.382 fib time taken from the start to the end of wave A, which at the moment clearly we haven't yet hit. This, the 382 is Sunday the 19th of May. So preferably on the lower time frame, if your low of an internal ABC zigzag is in, and this is your B, and we're looking for C inside B. Locally, 1, 2, 3, range over the weekend in a 4, move up in wave 5 next week, create a high and move down for wave C. That is pretty much the expectation for this particular scenario. We do have some additional resistance to the upside, the blue box 68.2, 69.2, and then another one over here 77 to 72k. This scenario is also pretty interesting from a psychology point of view because it creates a triple top. High 1, high 2, high 3. Price moving up this high will undoubtedly create some FOMO, some YOLO, people trying to trade the breakout, but it would actually be very nice to counter that greed, move price to the downside, create a new low, which also creates some panic and some fear and all that good stuff, which eventually fuels the move back towards the upside. So it's definitely a scenario I keep in mind. The invalidation is very simple. It's the all-time high, 73.8k. But this scenario is very relevant for the high time frame wave 4, where you end at least after the 382. Now, of course, on the weekly, this wave 4 and then move up in 5, as mentioned, is the most bearish bullish scenario. We can have exactly the same structure on the daily in this scenario as well. where we then have our wave A, B, C. However, here, of course, you can always just continue towards the upside. So this is your second scenario. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 to the upside. Here, your wave 3 of 3 is already finished. Most commonly, a wave 3 is the longest, strongest, most impulsive wave in an impulsive structure. This one here is short, which is uncommon, right? Which does impact the probabilities. Wave 4 common target in green, the 302.05, 57.5, 53.3K from the low to the high, invalidation 49.3K. And that is important because the 49.3K level is the 0.5 in the other scenario. So here, this scenario is not invalidated until you reach 43.5K. A side note in this scenario, by the way, is that most of the volume is in your high here. Which is not preferred. Even in an internal wave 3, you want to count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where preferably your wave 5 is on lower volume compared to your wave 3. But that is not the case here, right? Which also lowers probabilities for what we're looking for over here. Probabilities here are a bit lower because your wave 3 is quite short. It is not very extended, which then leaves us with the most bullish scenario that I have on my chart, where preferably actually in this scenario your low is in, but I'll explain why. So you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and we still have a very big wave 3 to go. Preferably your wave 2 is finished. Invalidation is the low here at 38.5. Hitting that and probabilities actually start to change for further downside. This wave 2 then also bounced on the 382. Just like we did here, and here once again. It's not a common target for a wave 2, but in a strong trend, it is a target nonetheless. The reason why preferably your low here is in is because of time. In a multi 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, preferably each next wave 1 and 2 is shorter in time and price. Time-wise, this wave 2 is the exact same time as this wave 2 if we count this wave 2 from this candle to that candle. Has to be said, this wave 1 in blue is longer than the wave 1 in green. It's not really preferred. Second thing that lowers the probabilities is this 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 is quite steep. It's quite a steep movement to the upside for a triple 1, 2. Commonly, you have at least some overlap. But if we go to a 4-hour time frame, you will see that this can happen. It's definitely not an invalidation. So here we had a 1, 2, 1, 2. So here we do have overlap, right? Another 1, 2. Again, we have a bit of overlap. Arguably another 1, 2. Great example could. This is all spontaneous, but again, we have some overlap. I mean, most commonly you do have overlap. It would be a very bullish scenario, but also this one with regards to probabilities is simply not ideal, which is also the reason that I have multiple weekly scenarios, and the invalidations for me, the invalidation per scenario is more important, and I like to keep an eye on the daily and the 4-hour chart, which is a lot more clear. Because on the weekly we have scenario 1, scenario 2, and scenario 3. Every scenario leads to upside. What happens after? We'll see. We don't know. If price is going to move below 38.5, well, probabilities will change, right? And then bearish scenarios will start to increase in probabilities, but at the moment that's not yet relevant. So the weekly, not as clear with what scenario is the highest probability scenario. It's just that the probabilities on the weekly are higher for continuation of the trend, unrelated to what exact scenario we're in, until you take 38.5. And based on the local price action at the moment, probabilities are higher for price to continue towards the upside, right? So we keep an eye on the local stuff. Now, your most bullish scenario locally would be very simply a wave 1, 2, and continuation to the upside. Right? 1, 2, and then on we go, right? Invalidation is the low. This price action, if we are looking for a wave 3 to the upside, is exactly the same movement as what you look for in a wave B. The only difference is in a wave 3 you continue, and in a wave B you turn around. So we have to wait for price to move into the resistance area, and then we will figure out what has the highest probability. Right? Now, if this is a wave 3, we want to see volume increase as price is moving to the upside. At the moment, this is not even close to being impulsive enough for a wave 3. Right? We really need price to continue towards the upside. Preferably, if we do get some sort of a double 1-2, you're going to stay below the 1-to-1 here on the chart. So you create a 1-2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, second 1, second 2, continuation up, 1-2, 1-2, and then you start your wave 3. At the moment, this is not great. The moment you hit the 1-to-1, probabilities go down for a double 1-2 here. So that's important. 1-to-1 at 69.2K, by the way. Which of course would give more probabilities to this scenario here, the ABC. But in both cases, we're still looking for price to move towards the upside. So yeah, daily, quite simple. Weekly, quite a mess. Let me talk shortly, by the way, about the invalidations. Invalidation for this one, the 0.618, 49.3K. Right. Invalidation for this, 43.5, and then finally 38.5. I have one backup scenario. I don't even know where it is. I think I removed it because it was so low probability, so yeah, don't even have to show it. Okay. To the lower time frames we go. Your bullish scenario is price moving towards the upside for a wave C or a wave 3. We have to wait and see, right? So we have a finished A or 1, finished 2B. We look for price to move towards the upside. Common target area for your wave C is between the 1 and the 1.236, taken from the low to the high to the low, 69.1 to 71.3K. This is what you want to see in the bigger wave B for then a wave C to the downside. If price continues to the upside and hits the 1.618, we also take the all-time high. Probabilities are higher to at least find more highs, like go for higher prices in a wave 3 and then later a 4 and a 5. But the pocket for wave C is first, and that area is in confluence with the two target boxes that I mentioned earlier. So there's important resistance around that 1-to-1 as well as the 1.236. In a wave C, you're looking for at least a sideways range, potentially over the weekend, then a wave 5 to the upside, rejection down, as explained earlier with the bigger scenario A, B, C. Your bullish or short-term bearish, but then bullish scenario, because it's still bullish, is a wave A or 1, flat in a 2 or B, continuation to the upside in a wave C or a wave 3. Preferably your B or 2 here is not ending after the 4/5 time, lowest probabilities, Sunday the 26th of May. Inside 2B, we're then looking for a flat A, B, C, but even here, preferably we move towards the upside, because we haven't yet hit the pocket. Most common target area for a wave B is the 1.236 to the 1.38 taken from the high to the low of A. And we haven't touched it yet. We also have the triple top here at 67.2K. This area will be interesting to observe and see what price does. There's always that probability for a 5-wave impulse to the downside in a wave C. The moment you hit the 1.618 at 68.8K, it lowers probabilities for this scenario. Right? So, what I'm saying, locally, higher probability to still move towards the upside. Up. And then we had a bit of, I can't really call it volatility, of course, after yesterday, but we have a bit of a range going on, right? Now, this range over here nicely mimics wave 4 price action. There's the potential for here a WXY with a flat high amount of volume. during this move towards the upside, starts ranging, looking for wave 4s. Common target area for 4 is the 236 to the 05. Now this 236 would be your minimum 236 because it's taken from this low to this high. And this low is the latest low before the move towards the upside. Arguably, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, which means this wave 2 matches this wave 4. And we have another 1, 2, then a 3, 4, 5, right? So potentially I even have to lower my fibs. In other words, that's what I'm trying to say. I make it very technical. Sorry about that. But now I pulled it from this low because your minimum target would be the 236, 65.6K. But possibly we have to move it even down, more further down, but then your 236 goes down. So I'm a bit cheeky, taking the low before the big push up, because that is a minimum target for a wave 4, 65.6K. We haven't yet touched it. We are ranging on top of support, arguably resistance turning into support. Losing this box, the daily naked point of control is below us at 64,800. But we first then need to lose support, and currently we're ranging on top of support. So continuation might as well happen. In other words, with regards to the probabilities, right? The probabilities on a 4-hour time frame, also locally, are higher to still look for higher prices. Even in the bearish scenario locally, which is a flat, we want to see that wave B pocket hit. That is your most common target area for a flat wave B, and we didn't hit it yet. And then we can observe the reaction over here, right? This is a first important moment to the upside. Passing this area, and we're simply going to look for higher, because then we're going to keep an eye on that wave C target area. Passing this, and we go for all-time high. You know? On the 4-hour time frame, or I should say arguably 1-hour time frame, probabilities are higher to move towards the upside. Depending on the reaction, we will get a better idea of the probabilities of continuation in a wave C or 3, or a move down in a flat. At the moment, this structure to the upside counts very difficult as a corrective structure. It looks better as an impulse for a wave C or a wave 3 on the lower time frames. So I would currently give the probabilities to moving up in a wave C, or potentially eventually a 3, but then likely it's going to be a double 1, 2. So you have a 1, 2, 1, 2 up, but then you don't want to hit this level, by the way, compared to this being a corrective structure. But I like to observe. That's my style. I like to wait for a range to form in the areas that are important and then take it from there. So the area that's important is the wave B pocket. We haven't hit it yet. So short term, probability is higher to still move up. Even if you shortly move below the support resistance level, that daily naked point of control at 64,800 is going to be very interesting. That's why I have an alarm there as well, because I want to observe it in case we get there for support, and then get a continuation to the upside, looking for that 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a wave 5, right? And that is basically it, because on a daily time frame, probabilities are also higher to still move towards the upside for either your wave B or continuation towards the upside, but that depends again on the reaction we see over here. So pretty much what we're saying is probabilities are higher to move up. And based on the structures we're going to form once we move up, we'll see what happens on the higher time frames. Right? We don't have to know all of that in detail. From a psychology point of view, this scenario is by far my preferred scenario. From a psychology point of view, this is very attractive. People getting greedy, FOMO, YOLO, go long, and then just bloop, stop, 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 stop. All the stops hit, early longest stops hit, create panic, fear, drama, Bitcoin going to zero, news is negative, some whatever, black swan event, and then poof, up. Oh boy, that would be, from a psychology point of view, by far the most interesting scenario. Yeah. No. Well, we're gonna wait and see what happens at resistance, right? So yeah, that's it. The weekly higher probabilities for the bullish scenarios, unless you go below 38.5. Till that moment, probabilities are higher for the bulls. On a daily time frame, either your low is in 56k and you continue up, or you look for that zigzag. I'm inclined to say that zigzag has higher probabilities, but I don't know if that's my psychology talking, because of the psychologies, like the great fake out kind of that happens with that scenario. Triple top, move down, grab the liquidity of 56k, create drama, and then move up. From a psychology perspective, it's very interesting. But we need to see local weakness and wait for a solid range to form. So with price moving to the upside here, what we're waiting for is a range to form that is similar in size to at least this move to the downside. As long as we don't have a range that is similar in time compared to this move down here, we're looking for higher. And potentially the weekend can give us a range in time similar to this, even longer. So because we want to count at least a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and wave 4 most commonly is longer than your wave 2 in time. And the weekend might actually give us that opportunity. So yeah. That's that, right? That's that. So summary, weekly time frame, high probabilities for the bullish trend until unless you hit 38.5. Even if you take 56k, probabilities remain higher for the bullish scenarios. On the daily time frame, we have the low being in and the zigzag, equal probabilities. We just wait for local price action to give us more info, because it depends on the lower time frames at the moment. And on the lower time frame, probabilities are higher to still look for higher. Even if you move shortly below this white box, hit the daily naked point of control at 64,800, probability is still higher to move up, at least a little bit, because we haven't hit the common target area for a wave B in the bearish scenario to move down in the C. And of course, in the more bullish scenario, you're going to be looking for continuation to the upside, move through that pocket up to the resistance areas above. So yeah, and then we wait and see. Wait for a range to form, and a range will give us all the information that we need. Maybe we're still in a wave 3 and 4 hasn't formed yet. Yeah, so if you talk about the local time frames, that it currently has the highest probabilities, yes, until you're gonna see a range similar in size to this one, right? So once a range starts, we don't yet know what degree wave 4 it's in, unless we really want to count the lower time frame. So of course, the highest amount of volume on a lower time frame is in this move. So preferably this is your wave 3, right? And then you have small ranges, right? Or arguably this is one longer range. And each range is a wave 4 matching with the wave 2 at the low. So you could get like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. So, but instead of keeping track of this, which takes a lot of time and doesn't add any value to my trading, what I simply like to wait for is the longest retracement, right? Wait for a range in size similar to this move, and then we can talk about a wave 4 matching this wave 2 in an impulsive scenario. And it makes life simple. All the smaller ranges I'm not interested in, not interested to count, so I just wait for a bigger range to form. And if you do look for that bigger range, your target, you don't want overlap, by the way. So then your wave or your target for your 4 is a little bit lower, right? So now we take it from this low to the high, and then we look for support in this area where we have that daily naked point of control. which is very interesting indeed. So yeah, it's also pretty much the only area of support that I have to the downside. Other than that, there's a bit of structural support, of course, with the ranges. But as you can see, all my folders here are now open. There's only one level, a daily naked point of control. So that is why I have an alarm there. And yeah, of course you have typical support resistance, but it's at the same level. Right, you have your support resistance area here. Daily naked point of control is the most important level in that support resistance anyway. So so that is why I keep an eye on it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, it could be nice. Could be nice to hit the daily naked point of control. If price wants to give us that opportunity, we ain't complaining, of course. Let me, on the lower time frame, by the way, let me put I have an alarm here. I'll put it on the 886 there. Hey. What's happening? It's magic? Move it. Okay, okay, I see, okay. It's probably an alarm that I put on the chart on my phone. 1 second, let me refresh here. Oh, okay. Fighting with the alarm. Oh, beep. Come on. There you go. Beautiful. Okay. Let's put a level there. Let's add one here as well for the sake of a potential retest. And I have an alarm above, I have an alarm below. And there we go. Yeah, I also have the text in the fib now. Look. Lol. Hello. It's a bit, I'm too quick. But yeah, I can now write in my fib as well. I couldn't. So when Jeroen mentioned it on live stream, I couldn't do it. But then I refreshed my browser and everything, and then I was able to make it happen. So we started the analysis at 7:30. Analysis at 7:30. Correlated with the S&P. Yeah, I heard it was flying yesterday. Okay. Where were we? Philcoin would be something for the altcoin live streams. Ren Buffin, how are you doing? Welcome. Rob, what's up? In the diagonal isn't wave 3 an impulse though, and 1 and 5 are 3 waves. Wave 3, there is the possibility to count it a 3-wave structure. It's far from ideal, but at the moment that would be the bear scenario I'm at least keeping an eye on. Wave 3 is also longer than wave 1, lowers the probabilities, but yeah, it's still an interesting thought. So alternatively, of course, you have the WXY, where your wave X is not yet finished. This might go quick, but you have a 1 second. W, X, and then you get a Y. And your wave X here is a wave A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you might get either a diagonal or a normal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 can be shorter than wave 1 as long as 5 is shorter than wave 3. Moving above your wave A. Now, time-wise, you don't want wave C to be longer than twice the length of A plus B. So we take a fib time from the start of A to the low of B. We double-click, toggle on the 2, and the 2 is Sunday the 26th of May. So preferably, you then finish a 5-wave structure before next week Sunday. So that is a scenario that I keep in mind. Yeah. Too bullish, yep. And it's just the 382 touches. It's still an uncommon target for a wave 2, right? And every time you hit the 382, 382, 382, right? It's not great probabilities. Yes, exactly, Charles. Why the retracement have been so small this cycle? I mean, it's of course, you miss out with smaller retracements, people looking for deep retracements. It's a bit of psychology, but the main question is, and that stuff we'll figure out in time, what are the 382 touches? In the end, it depends on the range. So the range will give us all the info. The longer the range, the more information we get about the impulsive structures to the upside. So a 1-1-1-2, each wave 2 hitting the 382, it's generally low probabilities. Your first 1-2 hitting the 382, okay, that's fine. A shallow wave 2, you would expect a deep wave 4 in the future. But then the ranges after also hit the 382. So we have to think about the potential of these being wave 4s. But if that is the case, your bull market is not going to be so bullish if you're already into wave 4 territory. So yeah, local timeframes will give us all the info we need. Before the pump, I pretty much covered this in the analysis. Good afternoon, Alan. How are you doing? Crazy Potato. I was going to ask you about that wave 4. 236. I took the fib on the 4 hour and my 2-3 were nowhere close to being hit. Also, if we see candlesticks closing on the 05, could that be deemed invalidation? No, because it does happen in a wave 4 that you go below the 05. It's just that the 618 is a level you don't want to hit. So that would be the one to keep an eye on. And if you have a wave 4 on your chart and the 236, you know, if you pull it correctly from the 2 to the high of 3, and the 236 is not hit, then either you're looking for wave 4 to not be finished and you still look for more downside, right? Or the count is wrong, of course. But if that is what's most obvious, looking for a 4, then you're looking for a wave to move into the 236 area. It's very rare. I rarely talk about this, by the way. But a very rare target for a wave 4 is the 146. So I don't even have it in my template like turned on. I have to manually turn it on, which is this one. The 146 is a very rare target for a wave 4. It's very shallow. It's very likely if price bounces off a 146 and moves up that you're going to count this wave 4 as a sub-degree wave 4 compared to what it actually is. So imagine you have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this 4 hits the 146 and moves up. Then it's very likely you are going to count this wave 4 as a wave 4 matching this wave 2 or that wave 2 or that wave 2 instead of this wave 2, just because of how shallow it is if you pull it from this low. But if you pull the fibs from this low or this low, it hits the 236. So that is very likely what's going to happen if you hit a 146, which is very rare for that time. He promised beer and techno music. I mean, I like the type of music, you know, techno, some bangers. Beer, I'm not too fond of beer though. I never really drink beer. I like Radler though. We can have a Radler. If candlesticks begin closing under the 05, possible top of wave B in? No. that would be the 618 in that case. Could we still be putting in an expanding flat in a sideways combo? Yes. Oh yeah, well, yes, Tristan. I mean, I didn't read your question, but I basically answered your question when I answered John earlier. So yes, the answer is yes. We were here already. Oh, okay, you got it. You got it. Yo, Mark, so it arrived. Did it arrive, Mark? You like physically you got it? You got the hoodie as well as the card, or not yet? For everyone that won the cap, by the way, these are still coming. They will arrive. I mean, either today or tomorrow. Hopefully, I got an email. 1 second, maybe. Who knows? It might be. No, it's not. I wonder when I'm gonna get a message. I would have to check where I ordered the caps again. 1 second here. Gonna check the website. Trading. I made a merchandise folder just to make sure I know like where I order my stuff. At store. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I got 7 caps, a navy colored dad cap from the brand Yupong with a Koens logo in the front, of course. Embroidered, not printed. We go for embroidery, quality. And yeah, I got the invoice. So I mean, I ordered it. It's just like I don't yet have an email of them sending it. I bought it on Tuesday the 7th. And I got a message, I believe, that it would be delivered between 15 and 17. Oh, 17th of May, that is. So yeah, we'll remain patient. The voice of a pie. What's up? Good to have you here once again. So I had a flight to catch and went offline by the time you responded to my question yesterday. Thanks a bunch for the response. Working to be a better trader. All good. And also, of course, I can get quite excited with some questions. And it's also not questions related to the person. I'm not individually speaking to someone. It's, of course, the bigger picture where if people ask up, down, or where long, short, it's about the steps to become a better trader in the end to make sure you know someone avoids these type of questions, as it will help them develop themselves. So yeah, it's good and no problem. I mean, catch a flight, gotta catch your flights, eh? But good you're here once again. Thanks for popping in. Good to see. So Sepra, how are you doing? Seprat X, Legendario, welcome. Always commenting as well, adding his 2 cents to the algorithm. Cheers, mate. Seprat, how you doing? The Agreeable, attending my first live session. Impressive learnings and very cool. Cheers, mate. Like, welcome to the live stream. Good to have you here. Enjoying some price action together. Hopefully price moving to the daily naked point of control, and then we'll take it from there, right? If we fail to hold the daily naked point of control, it doesn't look too great, not gonna lie, right? Like if you start to move below the daily naked point of control, then yeah, wouldn't be bullish. That would be bearish. So it's pretty much the main area of support. Partials of time is a fantastic handle. It's a nice one. It's absolutely a nice one. Check my first comment in this stream. You just got it. Wait. Smash that like button on your way in. afternoon, raccoons. Just got the package. Unboxing as we speak. Oh, there we go. Wow, I completely missed it. Nice. Nice. Okay, so there you go. You got the hoodie. You got the hoodie. Very, very nice. Cheers, man. Cool. There you go. I think you're the first one that received the giveaway package. Have you traded stock? No, I haven't actually. Goedenamiddag. Goedemiddag, Lucifer. Good afternoon. Good to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Blue looks good on maybe a band-aid. It does, eh? It does. In the weekly time frame, in case we are in a wave 4 and so the wave 3 has been too short. Could we have an overshooting 5? Yes. So if a wave 3 is quite similar in length compared to wave 1, the probabilities go up for an extended fifth structure, fifth impulsive wave. It remains rare, right? It's very uncommon for a wave 5 to be the extended wave compared to a wave 3. So preferably we look for scenarios where your wave 3 is the longest wave, but the probabilities do increase if wave 3 is similar in length to wave 1, that a wave 5 is overshooting. RDX, welcome. Good to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What would you recommend to start your trading learnings to get up to speed with your learnings? So Elliott Wave theory, of course, in general consists of a lot of theory and a lot of rules and guidelines. Now, in the content that I make, I try to make it as simple as possible. Only show one scenario at a time, explain where I pull the fibs from, and what to expect more locally. Like what are we looking for locally, which then changes the probability. So for example, locally, we're also in a morning video said, hey, it would be nice to hit the 236 area at least. And if we move down, daily naked point of control is the main area of support. Losing this, probabilities increase to move down because it's the main area of support, really. However, we didn't yet touch the wave B pocket above. So generally, probabilities would still be higher to move at least a little bit further to the upside, even if you do go down. And the best way to learn more about Elliott Wave theory, which will help with my content, is to open a description, scroll down to the section that says Elliott Wave Education, EW Education. And there is 3 links. One of them is a link to this website, right? It's the second link, I believe, which is a really good website. So just read through this and then get a notebook. So first just read through it, then get a notebook and a pen, start drawing the different scenarios, start drawing the extensions, the targets, what's common, what's uncommon. Like this website is very good. Like 90-95% of what you read here is correct. It's very complete. Not 100%, but it's very complete. So I would suggest starting here, and it will already give you a foundation that will help you to follow the content more easily, even though I do try to make it as simple as possible, because I realize that there are people watching that don't know anything about Elliott Waves, but they're curious about it. Where's price going based on Elliott Waves? They might not understand the exact theory and what I'm like looking for from a theoretical standpoint, but they're more curious about the probabilities. Like, okay, what are the probabilities? Right. So that is their section. So start with the website, get a pen and a notebook, and then after you went through the website, a nice to have but not a must have is the Elliott Wave Principle book of Frost and Prechter. So that's also in the description. And then finally, I have a course myself. It's the gold membership. Most gold members are there for 1 month, follow the course, and then either go silver, go diamond, or they quit. So, and that is all my knowledge packed in content that people can consume and again make notes and then implement as well. And I'm active in the group answering questions, which is great fun. I like to see people improve. So yeah. Those are pretty much the options, I suppose. What's up, Pistachio? Good to see you here once again. It's been a while. Pistachio is a very good Elliott Wave counter as well. And he back. It's been a while since he was in a live stream. Good to have you. ETH about to hit the 618. Doesn't look like it given away 4 yet. Oh, wait. You're talking about a retracement to the downside, I suppose, right? And hitting the 618? Yeah, that would be more bearish on ETH. If it does start to hit that 618, if you take it from the low to the high, could give an indication of who knows what Bitcoin might look forward to. Your daily naked point, yeah. So someone told me that in XO 63.7 is a point of control, but for me on Atas mine is 64.800. So there's a slight difference between the two platforms, but yeah, I use Atas, so that's the reason why my daily naked point of control is at 64.8. Good day from Utrecht. How you doing, MCLZ? Good to have you here. Welcome from Gouda. Not that far away. 20-25 minutes. From where did you take the NPOC? Atas. It's just the Atas templates that I always use. Tick size is I think 50 on my template. Hi Koens, how did you determine wave 5 in the end of the bull reach 125k? Interesting question. 1 second. I think I need to go to this chart. Nope. No. Oh boy. I need to move it. That's index. That's also not it. Holy shit. Where is my Bitstamp chart? Bybit. Is it the upper one? Yes. Okay, nice. So monthly chart. What you see on the chart here is a target area for the potential here bull market that we have, either looking for another wave 1 or a wave 5, by the way. Hold on, wave 5. Of a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a correction. Doesn't matter, same area of interest really. But the target area here, 100 to 180k, is based on the previous impulses. If we compare the wave 1s with one another, then the 0.618 was almost reached for this wave 1 and was reached for the green wave 1. Taken from the low to the high to the low, the 0.618 was resistance. The yellow wave 1 almost hit the 618, taken from the low to the high of red 1 to the low of red 2. So therefore, the 0.618 is once more a very important target on the chart. But I do like flexibility, so I create a region where the 786 is then the upper area. Now, of course, in this scenario, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that yellow count that I showed at the beginning on the weekly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, might be that count that then ends over here. So, so that is how it's been determined. The vertical lines is time, by the way. So preferably based on the previous bull markets, the time to end this structure would ideally be 2025, and then March 2025 to October 2025. Little bit of flexibility, the 0.618 on my chart, September 2024. Yep. Off. That is true, maybe a band-aid. I gotta say though, like the travel, like when I sent packages, like I think yesterday, 2 days ago, when I went to the shops and I gave the hoodies and the t-shirts, I mean, some packages go to the US and the Philippines, but others to Spain and France, and it's only like 2 or 3 days, so it's actually quite quick. But in the Netherlands, it's 1 day. Philippines, I think, is like 10 days or something, and one package has to go to Russia, but I think it's a cap. But I checked, and Russia is going to be 3 weeks or something because of border control and of course all the all the problems. So That's gonna take a while. I think the US is relatively quick as well. Alexandra knows she's the best moderator in the entire crypto space. Ah, there you go. I'm gonna keep an eye on Alexandra. She might take over your position. Ever thought about using Wyckoff in your trading? Seen a lot of this, almost picture perfect. I think Wyckoff and also harmonics are very useful. Of course, both are in a way quite closely related to Elliott waves because it is about counting wave structures. Same with Wyckoff, accumulation and distribution. You're pretty much putting different like letters on top of wave structures. And you can count it from an Elliott wave point of view, or in that case from a Wyckoff point of view, but you're counting it nonetheless, really. And with harmonics, I think that's one of the things that will help people in their early Elliott wave career, understanding harmonics. But before I got in touch with harmonics, my Elliott wave knowledge was at such a level that it didn't add anything to me, to my trading. So same with Wyckoff. The reason I never really got into it, as well as harmonics, is because by the time I got in touch with it, first of all, my main interest was Elliott waves, but secondly, my Elliott wave knowledge was up to such, was that high that I felt like, well, I'm counting it anyway with Elliott waves. So it doesn't really help me. Like the improvement would be very minimal, if any. It could be interesting to maybe one day try and implement it together with Elliott wave counting. But I always liked Elliott waves, and never really got into harmonics and Wyckoff, just because I was already for a long time in Elliott waves. Sandra Cool Crypto, hoe is hij vandaag? Hoe hangt hij vandaag? Links, rechts, midden? Nee, ja, gaat goed. Gaat goed. Goeiedag. Veel aan het doen hier in het huis ook. Lekker weer. Dus wat dat betreft. Ik bedoel, het is bewolkt, maar het is op zich wel lekker temperatuur. Dus doing good. Sorry for the Dutch chat. A little bit of Dutch talking. But yo, Sandra, good to have you here. Welcome. How are you doing? Hoe hangt die vandaag? What's up, Mavio? Is there enough probabilities to take 60 to 60 even in the bullish scenario? Yes. Bitcoin's under 53 is likely. Possibly, yes, possibly. Next move, higher probabilities are still for price to move towards the upside, potentially first hitting the daily naked point of control though. But generally, probabilities are higher to still move up at least a little bit because we didn't touch the wave B target area. We just missed out on hitting it. So that would be a nice one to hit, and then we'll take it from there, really. So knife catcher. If you build a plan around catching knives, then why not, I don't know what you mean here. Well, pleasure, dear Greenable. As long as it's a strat, exactly. Well, I'm not sure to put a big T-bone steak on the barbecue or just a meatball. I mean, how big is the group? I mean, a T-bone steak. I mean, what's the choice? Like T-bone or a meatball. Well, you probably go for the T-bone. But if it's a very big piece, it might be good to share. What is the trade, bro? Left, right, center, up, down. Yeah. It's all probabilities. The trade is up to your plan and your strategy. I'm not a financial advisor. I can only talk in probabilities, and you trade your own plan. So make sure you have a plan, most importantly. And if you do not have a plan, which you don't, because else you probably wouldn't ask this question, make a plan. All right? And making a plan is translated into 6 steps. There we go again. Very short though. Step 1, try as many free tools as you can in a trading view. right? Indicators and the tools here. Step 2, find your favorites, build statistics. Step 3, combine some of your favorite tools, build more statistics on the combination. Step 4, tweak and adjust. Add a tool, remove a tool to the combination, build more statistics, right? This is your strategy that you're really developing now with different tools. Step 5, start trading. Low budget, work on trading psychology. Step 6, increase your trading portfolio in size, slowly preferably, so that you can get used to bigger losses. Follow these 6 steps and you'll never ask this question again, because you know exactly what you're looking for according to your own plan and strategy, which will help you out. It will help me out as well. Jay-Z, good evening. Good to have you here. 886 touch. I mean, this 886 touch here is not relevant to me because we're in a range. It's the first 886, like from the high to move down and up. That 886 here, that was an interesting one. High probability to then take the high. But after, right, you can have a WXY, Y ending on the 886 and continue. So that's not too interesting. I'm not really keeping an eye on that. 64760 then proven backtest tick 80. Okay, yeah, that's 60. I have 64,800 on tick 50, but it's the same area of support, so that's good. Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Bitcoin prediction: higher probability locally to still look for higher prices, and then take it from there. Even if you would move down to the daily naked point of control, the probabilities to at least take the highs one more time and reach the triple top at 67.2 is highest. Okay, what's up, Andy? Good to have you here. Welcome. Good to have you here, man. I do have to go. As mentioned, I have about an hour because we are very busy in preparation of everything that's going to happen tomorrow. Secret. I'll talk more about it tomorrow as well. But yeah, there's a lot to do here in the house, so I gotta move. So I'll go. It's an altcoin. That would be a question for the alt stream. So I don't really keep an eye on alts. Maybe I'm playing guys and trade all positive close. That's what I like to see. Good job, Crypto man. Keep that up. But okay, yeah, gotta go, everyone. See what price is gonna give us. The probabilities and the analysis was at the beginning of the video, starting at 7:30 this live stream. So make sure you check that out. If you just joined, you can watch the VOD. It will be online right after this live stream, and I'll also make sure to put the timestamps in, so that you at least have some timestamps to guide you. So yeah, that being said, tomorrow is another day, another live stream in the afternoon. Tonight will be a normal update video. And let's see what the chart is going to give us before the weekend, right? Weekend is coming, generally a ranging structure, but we still have today as well as Friday. So maybe a little bit of volatility left. No, we'll see. Thanks for being here. Catch you at the next one.